along to see how I transform these nightstands. As I go, I'll share tips about products that I've learned to use over years of furniture refinishing. And for my Canadian friends, I'll make sure to include links in the description for places you can buy these products here in Canada. If you liked the last ones that I did that were black with the paintable wallpaper woven on the fronts, these will look very similar, just a different style of nightstand. This is such a perfect example of why I scuff sand everything with 180 grit before cleaning again and priming. You can see there's what I would call low spots that I filled with Bondo, and then there were high spots, so areas where it was a little bit warped. I have a feeling I'll probably need to do a little bit more filling after I've put the primer on, but yeah, this is a perfect example of why to sand, and also a perfect example of why I love my Festool, because on something that's like this, you can get right into the corners and the edges, unlike you can with a round sander. Here's my setup, my trusty sidekick, and I'm ready for primer. All scuff sanded, cleaned, taped off, and oh, I love this primer when I'm painting with black Benjamin Moore Aqualock. And these are bed risers, and they just help prop it up enough that you can use your roller still and not touch the ground and get paint on it. Look at this. That is one coat of primer. And look at the difference. One coat. So the drawers have also been all prepped and taped, and priming is underway. I've just gone into the edges with my foam brush, and then I will go back and do the inset and do the rest with my roller. So I've just dipped a little bit of paint on the end, mostly the end of the roller there, and then I go in like this to get the underside, and that's why you tape it, and then roll a little bit there. And then I use quite a bit of paint to roll here so that I get into the weave. Just gonna go back a little more. Not too much, but enough. Right in there. I use my roller a lot. There's something soothing about painting by hand, but I get a way better finish using the roller. And it's amazing, like I said, what you can do with it. So you see me just kind of going underneath there, along the edge, and then I can come back in here and roll that, and then just roll it right along the edge. I don't have a lot of primer on here. This primer has great coverage, but I also don't like to go too thick so that I can get a more even finish. And voila, everything is primed. So wait and see if there's any areas that need fill, like there, for example, and maybe there. But this one, you can see some spots here where it's just a lot deeper, the grain, and it's just from sanding, and going through some of the finish. So I've mixed up some of this drywall compound, sheetrock 20, with some water and some of my black primer. So I've just put some of it on the top of the nightstand here, and I'm just using this large brush, inexpensive brush, to get into those spots where you could see, you just see some extra grain coming through because it's sanded through a little bit more. And I'm just getting it everywhere. Like here, you can see, get it in there. I'm trying not to get it on anything other than the very tops because I don't need it anywhere else. And even though it's only some spots that need it the most, just to get a nice even finish and fill all of the grain, I'm doing it everywhere. So I'll do this on both. There, it's all been covered, both of them. And it's already drying, as you can see. So once that's dry, I'll come back and sand it and show you how it looks. So it's taking a while to dry. It's been a couple of days, not because it needed that long, but just because I haven't been able to get back to them. I've got all my stuff ready to go. I'm using my orbital sander, well, because I don't need to get into any corners here, but also because I had this multi-pack of sandpaper, and so it's got some higher grit, and I think 240 will probably be good for this, so we're gonna give it a go. Okay, so I've now got another coat of primer on here, and we'll see how that looks once it's dry. Recall, I also had a couple of spots on this one side that I wanted to fill. So what I did is I mixed up some Dap Drydex filler with a little bit of the primer and just applied it. So I've been asked or told that it's surprising how smooth my finish is when I don't use a sprayer and I use a roller. So I'm gonna show you my technique. I've gone around the edges here with a paintbrush. Now I'm going in with my roller. So I don't worry too much about getting it on. Just try to get it all covered. And I usually am able to do it just with one dip into the paint, I guess I'd say. And now what I do is I go back over the entire thing with the end of the roller that could drip paint to the far edge and just roll back over everything. There we go. This was silver, and I've sprayed it with a couple of coats of this Rust-Oleum Universal Metallic in flat chestnut. It just so happened that the sprayer was not working, and I ended up grabbing one from a different spray can. And one of the complaints that I have about the Rust-Oleum Metallic, this brand, is I don't love the sprayer. And so it actually worked out quite well that I was able to change it out for this sprayer. So I will keep this one and use it with my next can, because this one is done. So this is a handy little device. I use it to mark where I need to drill my holes when I am adding knobs or So you just sort of press it down and you heard it like click there, and then it will leave a mark. And then that's where you can drill your hole. For these, I made myself just this little template, and where this line is here, I knew that I needed to measure in just over 8 inches from the one side so that it was in the center. And then I made myself that little hole, and then I just pushed down, and then I had my mark, and then I used that to drill my hole. So I usually number my drawers so that they go back in nice and smoothly, and not every drawer fits perfectly in every spot. These ones happen to be numbered already, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so I just threw a number on the drawer. So this one is 14, which means it goes in the middle, and I will slide it in there. I often like to line the insides of my drawers, but these ones were wood, and I thought it would be nice to leave them wood and just freshen them up so that they would coordinate with the hardware. So I've just used this Watco Danish Oil in natural to oil the drawers after I had done a bit of sanding and cleaned them up. As you're putting the drawers back in, it's a great time just to look to see if you need any final paint touch-ups, and maybe a little bit on the edge here. And there we go, ready for staging. Well, they are done. Let me know what you think.